Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall, who wins? First and foremost, we are not in any way discounting Stipe Miocic and his chances of throwing a wrench in this entire situation. I will be making a video on Stipe versus Jon and how I see that playing out as well, so stay tuned to that. But let's get on with this one. I'm leaning towards Tom Aspinall. Many different reasons, one of which being time not being on Jon Jones's side. He is 37 years old at this point, and he's coming off of a shoulder injury. He has been inactive as of late. Before he fought Ciryl Gane, he was away from the sport for, I want to say, 2 years, only for him to injure himself. And the fight against Ciryl Gane wasn't a long fight. It was a very short and quick fight in which he admitted as well that he looked goofy in the striking, meaning he was rusty. So he didn't really shake that rust off. In fact, he added more rust onto it with the shoulder injury layoff. Now, that's going to hurt him. I'm sorry, but that's going to hurt him. Tom Aspinall's been active. He's rolling. He has momentum on his side. He has a wave of momentum on his side, and that matters. I have a pencil in hand because I have my notebook to my side here, and I jotted down some notes for pros and cons of each guy. Tom Aspinall has the youth, he has the speed, he has the power, and he's also a true heavyweight. That is the key right there. That, to me, is going to make all the difference in the world. The fact that he is the true heavyweight. Jon Jones is a guy who moved up to heavyweight from light heavyweight, and in my personal opinion, Daniel Cormier talked about this as well after I had made a video on it. It just goes to show that great minds think alike. With that said, Jon Jones was injured because he's not used to these big heavy bodies. If you watch the clip where he's grappling, where he actually injures the shoulder, it's in a scramble. They're in a dogfight-esque position, and Jon Jones tries to push into his guy, into his training partner. That doesn't always work, especially when you're not used to being the smaller guy, when you're not used to going with such a big body. Yeah, that might work if you're going up against Lyoto Machida, right? Jon Jones, light heavyweight, going up against these guys that he's way bigger than, like Rampage, Rashad, Lyoto. Jon Jones has always had a size advantage in his career, and when he does, he does his thing. But when he doesn't, when Jon Jones doesn't have a size advantage, the fights are much closer. The fight against Alexander Gustafsson the first time, close fight. The fight against Dominic Reyes, close fight. Thiago Santos, closer fight than most, but I think people were just like, oh, he's doing better than expected. There's a difference between a close fight and a better than expected fight, you know? When someone's so dominant like a Jon Jones, someone can do better than expected, and then people sort of overinflate that and exaggerate it and make it like, oh my god, he won and he got robbed. But it's, in truth, he just did better than expected. He didn't get dominated or blown out the water. You know what I'm saying? So, true heavyweight is Jon Jones. Is Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall, that's going to matter. When I say the youth, I mean he's 31 years old and he's got all this momentum coming behind him. He's steamrolling through the division, smoking people left and right. That's confidence. That is confidence. And Jon Jones, I have some pros here for him. And funny enough, one of the pros is experience. What do I mean by experience? I mean he's crafty in there, you know? He knows the tricks of the trade. He knows things that Tom Aspinall may not know yet. Maybe he hasn't learned yet. He hasn't been on as many big stages as Jon Jones. The truth is, Jon Jones has been there against the best of them. He's been there against legends of the sport. And he's been there since he was 23 years old. So take that for what you will. The experience of Jon Jones, the craftiness of Jon Jones will benefit him in some capacity. I see it as. He also has malicious intent. Let's add that, you know. And what do I mean by malicious intent? Because Tom Aspinall, when he throws, his punches, he certainly has malicious intent behind those punches. But Jon Jones, if you watch the Glover Teixeira fight, for example, he had an overhook on Glover Teixeira, and he yanks his arm, and he yanks it, and he pretty much did pull Glover's shoulder out of his socket, and it was a really nasty move. It was a real move that you don't see people do too often, and some people would say is a dirty move. He tries to maim you when he's in there with you, okay? There's a clip. Go look it up. Sean Strickland with Orlando, I don't know his last name, forgive me. Rest in peace to him. He's like a jiu-jitsu world champion and things like that. But essentially, the guy does the move that Jon Jones did, something very, very similar. And Strickland punched him, and Strickland kicked him, and they were just supposed to be like grappling or whatever. And Strickland was like, nah, F that, man. That was dirty. You know what you did? That was dirty. And I actually tend to agree with Sean Strickland here. He had a fight coming up. For you to do a move like that, you could have injured him a little bit there. You know what I mean? So I'm with Sean Strickland there. And trust me. Oh, yeah, trust me. On this page, I give Sean Strickland a lot of pushback and criticism. But in my opinion, he was justified here. That just goes to show you that Jon Jones is doing those same moves. Those same moves that you got a guy like Sean Strickland saying that's dirty, Jon Jones is doing those moves. Jon Jones will stomp in your kneecap and hyperextend your knee and change the way you walk for the rest of your life. Jon Jones, if given the chance, will maim you, okay? And that's what I mean by malicious intent. And that's just the risk of the trade, my friends. You know what I mean? If you step foot inside that octagon, you're running the risk that your opponent is going to be like that. And that's Jon Jones. So he's got that going for him. He's also got the unpredictability. I know we have a lot of new fans in this sport, and, part of it's good, part of it's bad, just like with anything. But the bad thing is a lot of these new fans haven't done their history. They haven't done the research. When I first got into this sport back in 2009, oh yeah, I did the research. I went back and I watched all the old fights. I was watching UFC Unleashed back on Spike TV. I was doing my research and my studies and I was watching Joe Rogan podcast where he had fighters on. I was listening to this guy, and I was just absorbing everything. And I love the sport. It is what it is. But a lot of people kind of don't have that mentality. We have a lot of new fans, but they're like new casual fans. So they don't do the research and they don't know what they don't know. And Jon Jones, if you don't know, man, is very unpredictable. His techniques, his striking. He's not just a boxer. He's not just he's a Muay Thai guy, man. And he can grapple his ass off. Okay, not only on the ground, not only he could shoot a double leg and take you down or a single leg and take you down. No, he could dominate you in the clinch as well. Jon Jones's clinch game is better than Tom Aspinall's. But again, at light heavyweight. You know what I mean? We have yet to truly see it at heavyweight against a true heavyweight. Sure, we saw what he did to Ciryl Gane, but, Ciryl Gane was I like Tom Aspinall more than I do Ciryl Gane when I, compare talent and things like that. So, keep that in mind. But anyways, Jon Jones with the kicks, with the spinning elbows, with the, punches, just the way he mixes things up. He's so good at it. He's so good at mixing things up. The way he's able to get in the clinch and sort of bully Daniel Cormier in the clinch and do things like this. The unpredictability, the malicious intent, and the experience are the pros for Jon Jones. Tom Aspinall has the youth, the speed, the true heavyweight factor, and the power. In my opinion, though, I believe time does get everybody. No matter how great you are, there is a time limit. Whether you're Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan, you name it, bro, Napoleon, you name it. Any of the world's conquerors, any of the greatest fighters, from Muhammad Ali to Mike Tyson to, name someone, and they all have an expiration date. There is an end to it all. And I just think Tom Aspinall's just getting started, and I think Jon Jones, with the inactivity, is on the way out. And I'm going with Tom Aspinall. That's my pick for this fight if it does ever happen. Stay tuned for that Stipe video of Jon Jones and Stipe. Maybe even a Stipe versus Tom Aspinall video as well. Why not, right? But let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know whether you agree, disagree. It truly does not matter. Just join the discussion, follow for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. Thank you. You are all appreciated.